All right, we're going to have some fun with this one. So, all this month, we're going to be doing a segment called A Proverb a Day to Keep the Police Away. So, every day, we're going to be reading one chapter of Proverbs. You get to follow along in whatever version you want to follow along in. I'm going to be reading out of the Message version. It's just a different version of the Bible, easy to understand, and very conversational. If you've heard the Bible over and over and over again, I invite you to take a listen because this puts a fresh set of eyes on some of these verses. And really, Proverbs, if you're not familiar with it, is all about basic instruction for living. It's all about giving you some good wisdom so that you don't get caught up, right? So I've been out of prison since 2015, haven't gotten caught up since. So, I've got like 9 years. The streak is alive. Okay, so here we go. Proverbs 1. We are ready now. Man, I've been having some technical difficulties, but I'm not letting the enemy get in the way. It ain't happening today, Satan. So here we go. Proverbs 1, Wise Sayings of Solomon, a manual for living. Isn't that kind of like what we want, right? Like, just tell me how to get through this thing called life. So that's what this book is all about. So a manual for living. These are the wise sayings of Solomon, David's son, Israel's king, written down so that we'll know how to live well and right, to understand what life means and where it's going. A manual for living, for learning what's right and just and fair, to teach the inexperienced the ropes and give our young people a grasp on reality. There's something here also for seasoned men and women, still a thing or two for the experienced to learn. Fresh wisdom to probe and penetrate the rhymes and reasons of wise men and women. Start with God. The first step in learning is bowing down to God. Only fools thumb their noses at such wisdom and learning. Pay close attention, friend, to what your father tells you. Never forget what you learned at your mother's knee. Wear their counsel like a winning crown, like rings on your fingers. Dear friend, if bad companions tempt you, don't go along with them. If they say, let's go out and raise some hell, let's beat up some old man and mug some old woman, let's pick them clean and get them ready for their funerals. We'll load up on top quality loot, and then we'll haul it home by the truckload. Join us for the time of your life. With us, it's share and share alike. Oh, friend, don't give them a second look. Don't listen to them for a minute. They're racing to a very bad end. They're hurrying to ruin everything they lay hands on. Nobody robs a bank with everyone watching. Yet that's what these people are doing. They're doing themselves in. When you grab all you can get, that's what happens. The more you get, the less you are. Lady Wisdom goes out into the street and shouts. At the town center, she makes her speech. In the middle of the traffic, she takes her stand. At the busiest corner, she calls out, Simpletons, how long will you wallow in ignorance? Cynics, how long will you feed your cynicism? Idiots, how long will you refuse to learn? About face, I can revise your life. Look, I'm ready to pour out my spirit on you. I'm ready to tell you all I know. As it is, I've called, but you've turned a deaf ear. I've reached out to you, but you have ignored me. Since you laugh at my counsel and make a joke of my advice, how can I take you seriously? I'll turn the tables and joke about your troubles. What if the roof falls in and your whole life goes to pieces? What if catastrophe strikes and there's nothing to show for your life but rubble and ashes? You'll need me then. You'll call for me, but don't expect an answer. No matter how hard you look, you won't find me. Because you hated knowledge and had nothing to do with the fear of God, because you wouldn't take my advice and brushed aside all of my offers to train you. Well, you've made your bed. Now lie in it. You wanted your own way. Now how do you like it? Don't you see what happens, you simpletons, you idiots? Carelessness kills. Complacency is murder. First, pay attention to me, and then relax. Now you can take it easy. you're in good hands. Kind of like Allstate, right? You're in good hands, or is that you're in good hands with State Farm? Or I don't even know. Anyway, we ain't talking about State Farm. We're talking about this chapter. And this was a great chapter. Great one to start off with. And if you're in recovery like me, these are all basic instructions for just getting your life and keeping your life on the right track. There's nothing earth-shattering here, right? It's a lot of common sense. It's a lot of just putting the next right thing in front of the other right thing in your life and just keep on taking one step forward. I really like some of the ones at the beginning of this where it says it's a manual for living, for learning what is right and just and fair, to teach the inexperienced the ropes and give our young people a grasp on reality. Listen, when you're new in recovery, sometimes you need to look to somebody that's been there and done that. Maybe somebody that's been there for 10, 15, 20 years that's going to sponsor you. Maybe that's going to coach you, that's going to walk alongside of you. And that's because you may be inexperienced in that thing. Like if I was going to take a trip across the country, I would want to do my research. I might even join a Facebook group on the best route to take across, and then all the little stops along the way, because I'm going to gain knowledge about the things that I want to do and the places that I want to go along that journey. And it's the same thing with recovery. You're basically just asking someone like, hey, I need you to help teach the ropes, or maybe hold me accountable. I just need somebody I can go to with my junk that's not going to freak out when I tell them what was going on in my head earlier today. They'll love me through it. They'll encourage me through it, and they'll walk with me through it. You know, I know we're going through Proverbs here. I'm not a pushy or preachy kind of guy. I mean, I'll meet you wherever you're at with religion. If you want to say you're a Christian, or if you say you're not, I love you wherever you're at. That's your journey. I'm just here to share a little bit of my insight, my experience, and the reason that I have the hope that I do. I mean, I'll be sharing more of my story as we go along this month, but, you know, I've been sober now for 14 years, and I've been out of prison for 9 years. And wow, life is different just because I made a couple small choices to do things like embrace recovery and get connected with some community. So anyway, that's enough of my story for today. That's Proverbs 1. This is going to be a daily thing. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We'd love to have you back. This is Proverbs 1 message version of Proverb a Day keeps the police away. So we hope to see you tomorrow.